Hello, I'm Joel Blackford with Beth Hesed Sabbath Fellowship. Thank you for joining us. We're virtual only based out of St. Paul, Minnesota. The phone number works if you'd like to contact us. We do the thought behind the thought, the philosophy of eschatology, what you need to know, your reality, our existence. We solve little pieces of revelation each week. We're working on the seals pretty much because we're getting through the birth pangs. And so that would be Revelation chapter 6. We're dealing with the hostages being released hopefully tomorrow or the next day. We're in Sukkot, and that's an important time. You'll see prophetically how it matters. And then the Abraham Accords moving forward. And whether we go into the Great Tribulation or the final 7 years or whatever you want to describe it, it seems to be occurring. So this is just in Tel Aviv today. Cyrus the Great is alive. He's not the Antichrist, people, but he is a Cyrus type man, and Israel sees this all the time. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the philosophy of the end of days. We're going to be talking about peace via leverage today. It's going to be interesting. That seems to be part of the prophecy. We're going to try not to twist the Bible. We'll give you real prophecies and real comments from news events and things like that. So, Jared Kushner, Donald Trump, they are both messianic, and other people are too. Are they false Messiah like? So we'll try to work on that. Either way, he didn't get the peace prize, and yet he caused this great peace deal. The negotiators are shaking hands here. They don't like each other, but they're shaking hands. They did a very good job of forging peace based on leverage. So this is the Israeli, American, Qatari delegations shaking hands in Egypt, of all places, from October 9th. And so now on Monday, tomorrow, it's the 12th today, Trump will arrive in Israel next week on Monday, speak to the Knesset, and it's just amazing. The guy never sleeps. So everything's moving forward. That was Ynet. Thank you for posting that. This is Eyewitness News, ABC 7. Trump sets off for Mideast to mark ceasefire deal and urge Arab leaders to seize the moment. That's the Abraham Accords, October 12th. So he'll be there, and so there will be a permanent agreement in Gaza. Would help pave the path for Trump to begin talks with Saudi Arabia as well as Indonesia and other countries. So I'll list the countries later on. Let's kind of go through what he's trying to broker and how he's brokering it. And so first of all, you have to cover the fact that a nice lady uh, won the prize over. So her name is Maria Corina Machado, and she won it over Trump. Not because she was better or a better choice, but it's just the Nobel people are such goofy people. X laughs as Nobel Committee announces the selection of anyone but Trump for Peace Prize. Thank you. Very good article from October 10th from Twitchy. And David Harris, this Nobel Peace Prize winner, Maria Corina Machado, shares why she dedicated this award to Trump. I decided to dedicate it to President Trump because he deserves it. Very interesting. She's not exactly a great candidate, so it's perfect for Nobel. And so once again, the Norwegian committee decided to give it to her. Barack Obama immediately, and he knows her, okay? He immediately patted her on the back for winning the award. It's just interesting to watch him always working an angle, always working it. Now, I won't read this to you. You'll have to read it yourself. But she has made some odd comments, and Harvard Magazine picked up on this about my particular skin color. So it's just interesting. Just go ahead and read it. Pause it if you want to. So Trump has accomplished this, and she's more on the other side. Okay, he released the hostages. He got Israel, Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey all talking to each other, and they're not friends. Okay, but to get Turkey involved is amazing. But that's Trump. Hamas, Iran destroyed. This is amazing. And Barack Obama received the Nobel Peace Prize for doing nothing. Trump is bringing people home, hopefully tomorrow during Sukkot, which is interesting. That'll be the prophecy side as we get to Nehemiah later on. So, Trump's Gaza peace spillover. Investors foresee end of Red Sea shipping crisis. It's been horrific since 2023 in the Red Sea to get your ships through without being attacked. So, could Trump's big Gaza peace plan have the spillover effect of solving the Houthi and Red Sea shipping crisis as well? Time will soon tell. Yeah, so it's just amazing. This is from Zero Hedge, of course. So we've had all of these problems with ships being attacked, And now it looks like he's putting pressure on many countries to solve this crisis. So he's winning every single time. He's also winning with Russia. Now, Alex Jones and other people are claiming World War III is on the doorstep, or World War IV, as he's claiming, that we're literally moving into it. I'm saying no, this is the age of peace. It's leveraged peace, but what you're not seeing is that Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna has just pushed for a peace plan with Kirill Dmitriev, special envoy to President of Russia, for later this month in October. So this is shocking, okay? And so Kirill answered back, "Dear Congresswoman Luna, thank you for your courageous stand for peace and dialogue. The world depends on U.S. and Russia listening, understanding each other, and working together to address global challenges. I look forward to our meeting and constructive discussion." So this is leveraging peace. And he's sending out, a very attractive lady from Florida, Congresswoman, to negotiate this deal. And it's a brilliant start. So I disagree. I think this is the time of peace moving forward. It'll be leveraged peace, but that's brilliant. I'll show you what I mean by that as we move forward in the slides. So this is from a company called Israel My Channel, great little channel on YouTube. But Israel did not start this war. It was started by Hamas that attacked Israel, and Hamas was inspired by Iran. So getting together, the United States and Israel, to attack Iran was so critical to forming peace going forward, and it shows that leverage, which means that if you don't weaken under the tariffs, then you're going to weaken under, an attack and bunker busters and things like that. So basically, it's happening because Israel, Egypt, Turkey, Qatar are all talking about taking out Iran because they don't want Iran having nukes and blasting various countries based on Iran's strange eschatology. So the Sunni Muslims are all kind of getting together and fighting back against Iran, and they're not friends of Iran, obviously. And so, it's just interesting the leverage angle of this. And Trump is more than willing to leverage all day, every day. So once again, this is Turkey, Israel, and Egypt talking together, being friends, and Iran being kicked out, and Qatar involved too. Just very interesting. So Israel My Channel, really cool guys. So just be aware of that. These are not friendly people naturally. Okay, anti-Israel activists who demanded a ceasefire for 2 years now oppose Trump's peace plan. So really the bad guys, and Trump's playing this out beautifully here too. He's leveraging against the Democrats and the liberals and the Hamas people, pro-Hamas people, activists. So the Democrat lawmakers, the left-wing commentators, all of these people, he's exposing them for the lunacy that they have, and so it's just interesting how this peace plan is making the liberals look stupid, like they're against peace. But they're really so against Trump that they look like they're against peace. Very interesting. He is leveraging peace everywhere he goes. And so the last comment is very interesting from World Israel News. For a colonial aggressor like Israel, democratic legitimacy is a threat. If this becomes a key sticking point, only Trump could get Israel to relent. So, the Muslims are saying that, but they realize, oh my, he's playing the people so well. He's waging peace. So this is I'm saying that Hamas and the PLO can't be rehabilitated from open source intel, and so it looks like they have to defeat them. And that's what they're going to continue to do. So even though you'll have a peace plan, you have to defeat Hamas in Gaza. And so you have to let the people live and live in peaceful situations, but really you have to take out Hamas. You just have to. So let's see, was there Day After Gaza plan? It's really to develop it and build it up and try to leverage peace by giving people jobs and something to do with their lives, because the Gazans haven't been able to do anything for 2 years because of Hamas. So when's the fullness of the Gentiles due? When will we see what I believe is the Abraham Accords being the fullness of the Gentiles? I don't know, but we're getting close. It could be actually occurring in the next month here. Abraham Accords are back and Palestinian cause is over. This is an opinion from the Washington Times, but it's very interesting to read it. E.J. Kimball says Trump 2.0 is laying bare the fact that the so-called Palestinian cause, long dressed up in the language of justice and liberation, is nothing more than a vehicle for jihadi fantasy and corrupt governance. Wow. Okay, so it's just interesting. This means the expansion of the Abraham Accords will go forward, draw Arab and Muslim nations into a broader coalition based on shared interests and leveraged peace. So the slide is coming up in just a little bit. This is Washington Times from recently here. So basically what Trump is saying, sign on to the Abraham Accords or risk increased tariffs, or what Iran got. So either way, he's able to get away with all of these things. So it's just interesting how he's working his little magic for the moment here. And Jared Kushner is working his magic too. He's getting everybody on board the Middle East peace train. So very interesting to watch it. And working with Witkoff and his wife too. Sleepless nights inside the billionaire bunker. How Kushner and Witkoff sealed the Israel-Hamas deal. There are no bunkers in Florida. It's above ground. I mean, it's a flat little state that will be overrun at some point in time by the flooding in the world as the poles shift. But anyway, that's where his bunker is, and so they hold up in the bunker there. It's just, I find this very funny that anybody would consider Florida to be a billionaire bunker. So $32 million Miami mansion, urging Netanyahu to stay positive before flying to Egypt to finalize the pact. Very interesting. So the one guy that's not on board is Ben-Gvir from Israel. So he and Witkoff and Jared have been fighting back and forth. I'm looking at the list of terrorists being released, murderers of babies, rapists of women. The United States would never make a deal like this. We cannot make peace with Hamas. They want to kill us. Witkoff responded with a personal story of the forgiveness after losing his son. Ben-Gvir shot back. That's the difference. The people who murdered us on October 7th aren't asking for forgiveness. The families are proud. They glorify murder. Would you make peace with Hitler? Hamas is Hitler. And Kushner attempted to calm the exchange, but Hamas is globally isolated and deterred. So they're using their leverage. So, but there are deterrents. And even though Trump is going to be speaking to the Knesset tomorrow or the next day, there are people that oppose this. This is the slide I wanted you to see. This is from Arab Weekly, Jared Kushner's second act, part 2. And so Kushner embodies this ethos. From the Abraham Accords to this week's Gaza initiative, he has mastered the art of building trust in a region where credibility outweighs titles. Those accords, once dismissed as symbolic, have matured into the cornerstone of our new regional order. And now, with Gaza at the center of global attention, the same model is being reapplied: peace through strength and stability through shared prosperity. Critics accuse Kushner of blurring the line between business and diplomacy. They misunderstand the strategy. In today's Middle East, capital is the essence of leverage, and leverage is peace. So once again, leverage equals peace. Kushner figured it out. He's playing it. Trump is playing it. They're using the same strategy. This, we'll see if it's biblical. We're very close to the prophecy section. I'll show you there my opinions. But once again, Jared said, well, I read 25 books and I am here to perform your open heart surgery. So the problem is he did read the books. He probably read the right books, and he has solved these problems very well. Sleepless nights inside the bunker again. I'm sorry, I put it in twice, but I wanted you to see, the strategies that they've worked through to leverage peace. And I want you to see, prophetically speaking, this is during Sukkot. And you'll see that in Nehemiah 8 in just a moment here. So at the Western Wall in Jerusalem, after cutting the deals, it's during Sukkot. It's during Shemini Atzeret, or, that great day. This is John 7:37 and 38. So Hamas folded under concentrated pressure from Egypt, Turkey, and Qatar, making it clear that there was no room to maneuver. And credit to Jared Kushner, who has the deepest understanding of the Middle East, for skillfully orchestrating this outcome. Very interesting that this is an Arab source. Yet there is this this problem with the four horsemen riding too. So this will not last forever, but he'll increase the peace deals via leverage and a force, and force some kind of a strange peace deal. Okay, he's Bigfoot. That's what he's called. In the White House, everybody calls him Bigfoot. He's that powerful. It's humorous, but it's truthful. So Kushner's comeback Politico. This is from 10/9. Jared Kushner slinked out of politics and back into the private sector after the last Trump administration. Now he's made a bold entrance back into the national security scene. Does that make him a candidate for the Antichrist? I don't know. But he is the jackknife of the Trump administration. His involvement as a bellwether of the progress the administration has made in peace talks. He's the guy. He's the glue. He's the Bigfoot, And so his connections with the Arab and Turkish leaders have come in handy to unite them in putting pressure on Hamas to reach an agreement. That's how it got done. So he's the Bigfoot. He's always there in every room. He's always behind the scenes. Is he an Antichrist? That'll be another day. But he knows leverage. He knows that and understands that. In order for peace to be taken away, a state of peace must exist. It doesn't say Michael's name here, but this is the end of the American dream, which is Michael Snyder. He's a friend. By the way, he's going to be on the show this Wednesday, so you can ask him questions if you want to. About the end of the war. So basically, I believe there will be more war. So first, I will be watching the Middle East very, very carefully during the weeks ahead. Sadly, the truth is that the leaders all over the globe are not thinking clearly at this stage. There is peace for the moment, but it seems clear that it won't be too long before that peace is suddenly taken from us. So Michael is correct. There has to be a peace deal first for the peace to be taken away at some point in time. And so he's nailed it, and he shared it with Miranda, and I've been talking to her for many, many years. Once peace is taken from the Middle East, I expect several other conflicts dramatically to erupt as well. We are living in a time of wars and rumors of wars, but we'll have an odd peace right now. Okay, so you'll see Michael on the show this Wednesday. So here's the verses. Let's look at them. We're heading towards the prophecy time frame. So eschatologist, Trump's leveraged peace, for when they say peace and safety, I'm saying leveraged peace and safety. I'm adding that word in, obviously. Then sudden destruction comes on them as travail on a woman with child. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. That's what I sense is part of that. We don't understand why we have peace and safety, but it's been leveraged by either the countries will be tariffed out of existence or bombed out of existence. Our vision is one of peace, security, and prosperity. Donald Trump. There you go. On the right-hand side, this is Ezekiel 38. You will say, I am going to invade this land of unwalled villages. I will take by surprise these people who are at peace, living securely, all in places without walls, bars, or gates. I will seize the spoil and take the plunder. You will attack the former ruins that are now inhabited and come against the people gathered from the nations. So that's Ezekiel 38. So based on how I read Dmitry Duduman and David Wilkerson, it seems like the logistics, these leveraged logistics, need to occur before World War III, even though everyone is screaming World War III is at our doorstep. So basically, I think the World War III issues that we have will just push the Jews home. That's what I think is occurring. Okay, so there are some mistakes being made. It's interesting as we're concentrating on the peace deal. I can't believe that Hegseth, kid from Forest Lake down the road from where I grew up, said, let's allow Qatar to have pilots sent to America, fighter pilots, and trained in America. That's a problem. So everybody's complaining about this, but it's quiet because we're talking about the peace deal. So the same guy that posted, we are all Hamas, and glorified the Qassam brigades. Wow. So I don't know what to do about this, but basically the Qataris are thrilled that they're being allowed to. And so, yeah, the Qatari defense minister posts, we're all Hamas. Okay. So is Trump on the dole? Is he selling out? No, he's using leverage, people. That's what it is. And so he accepted the $400 million luxury jet from Qatar to be Air Force One. They gifted it to him. He's using leverage. He's using deals to get what he wants done, which is peace with Hamas and peace in the region and the Abraham Accords. So, yeah, it's a Trojan horse. It's Hamas Force One. Yeah. Strange bedfellows, people. More pictures these are from me, from Grok. And so the U.S. is allowing foreign troops to train on American soil because what Trump really means is by deporting the migrants is the ones I can use to advance my agenda. So, so basically, this is Jeremiah Harding. He's a liberal, but he nailed it. I mean, it is leveraging back and forth, brilliant strategies. So, who's going to join the Abraham Accords? Pakistan, potentially. It looks like they're ready to go. This is the voice of Khorasan. And so Abraham Accords officially recognize Israel. Yeah. So, Pakistan is working on this. It looks like he's accurate on this, that they're going to jump in. Saudi Arabia, Syria, Qatar, Indonesia, France, and the UK. Yes, those are the Islamic republics of England and France poised to join the Abraham Accords, along with on the right hand or the left hand side, you've got it doesn't show it properly, but that's Indonesia down below, and then up above from John Levine. Once Gaza in the rear view mirror, I suspect Muslim nations to begin lining up. Syria, yep. Saudi Arabia, Syria, Qatar, Pakistan, Indonesia. So, yeah. And I'm mockingly talking about England and France because they are spineless. Okay, other countries, so we'll just list them off repeatedly. Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Indonesia, Mauritiana, Qatar, Syria, Oman, Morocco, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Pakistan, of course, all talking about this. And really, the big one is Saudi Arabia should come in very quickly here. Okay. Arab states expanded cooperation with Israeli military during Gaza war, so they're sharing military technology, which brings them into the fold and protects them against Iran, and so that's why they're going to sign up for the Abraham Accords. So this is from AI. I just wanted to show it one more time. So Oman, Indonesia, Mauritania, Pakistan, Comoros, Somalia, Djibouti, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, rather, and then they're all pushing for Palestinian statehood. That's not on the table right now, but but they want to quell regional tensions. It's the time for peace. So it's interesting. AI understands this, and this is fairly accurate right here. So is this the Jubilee year? So we're in the prophecy section. Last few slides here. Is it the Jubilee year? I don't know. Yeshua spoke these words from Isaiah 61, 1 through 2. Is Jared Kushner part of this? Is he messianic in many ways? Is he pinning the tail on the Antichrist? We'll see. The Spirit of Adonai Elohim is upon me because Adonai has anointed me to announce good news to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom to the captives. That's what just occurred. To let out into light those bound in the dark. They were in tunnels. To proclaim the year of the favor of Adonai. It's interesting that it's occurring right now during Sukkot. And the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn. Yes. Provide for those in Zion who mourn. Interesting. Very prophetic. Okay, so now this is Israel National News on the left-hand side. Shabbat Kol HaMoed, Sukkot. The hostages are coming home from October 10th. And so it's interesting, people, that it's occurring during Sukkot. So this is from Nehemiah 8:17. And the Kol HaKahal, which is like saying the church or the assembly of them that were come out from captivity of Babylon, made Sukkot and sat under the Sukkot, for since the days of Yeshua, yeah, that's how you say Jesus in Hebrew, in Aramaic technically, Yeshua ben Nun, unto the days of, and it says B'yom Hahu. It's like giving you a sign of the end of days, B'yom Hahu. Had not the B'nai, the children of Israel, done so, and there was Simcha, which is joy, gladness, Gedola rather, large, great, Nehemiah 8:17. So the verses, this is being stated by Christians and Jews alike in Israel today, because they realize this seems to point to the fact that as the temple was ready to be built by Nehemiah and Ezra, so we seem to be coming out of that same situation, leaving Babylon in some ways, for the Jews to be leaving Babylon. So Once again, there's the article, and I kind of already read that. But down in the bottom section here, lower right, as I write on this Thursday morning, it appears that the hostage exchange will at least begin before Monday evening, the commencements of Shemini Atzeret, Simchat Torah holiday. Wow, that's prophetic. Okay, so once again, you've got Cyrus, the prophecy side of it. You've got Jared involved in it too. Here's a picture of Donald Trump being praised as Cyrus the Great, which is significant because he was compared to Cyrus on the Trump temple coin I talked about years ago, and Donnie discerned is the person that's stating this. Cyrus was a Persian king, a Gentile ruler who defeated Israel's enemies, freed them from Babylonian captivity, and allowed them to return home to rebuild the Second Temple. That's basically around Nehemiah 8:17 there. I believe what's coming will mirror that pattern. Israel will believe they've found peace and security through Trump, thinking they can now safely rebuild the temple, but I think this will actually set the stage for the coming judgment, what the prophets called Jacob's trouble. Before the end of the age, the husband Israel believes she's found in Trump may end up becoming the very instrument of her refining and judgment. Whoa, that's prophetic. Okay, so in the verses itself, we're going to start out with Nehemiah 8:17 and show you how what we're looking at in the middle here is the hostages are returned. So whole assembly who had been returned. So that's Shevaim, and so that seems to be returned from captivity, and definitely Shavi. You can see it. Hostages seem to be returned, and so it matches exactly. Based on the Hebrew. And the Sukkot is mentioned there, Sukkot, and I showed you the picture of it. There's the Bayom Hahu in the middle, lower section there. That on that day, that is a phrase from Zechariah 14:9 that is specifically tied to the Messiah returning, Bayom Hahu. It's just one of those wonderful circumlocutions. And the book of law, it's the Torah down below. I didn't indicate that, but you can see on the last line. And he read the book of Torah of God that day, Yom. Bayom, it's basically almost a Yom, Bayom Hahu. It's close enough, Bayom. So, yeah, interesting. Very, very, it's not Acharith, it's the first Rishon. Okay, interesting. So very prophetic from Nehemiah 8:17. Then we move forward to Daniel, which is 9:24, and we start 24 through 27. We see something similar in the verbiage with the Shevaim and Shavuim, Shavim. Yeah, 70 weeks, but also 70 these times of captivity. Being returned. It kind of matches up with the same phraseology from Pesha, which would be rebellious transgressions the people have done. Chata is listed with sins and things like that. And so basically, the problem is we don't know if this is describing exactly one time frame or another. And going forward, when we get to the Gaza peace deal, what exact day would you claim that it started? And the Abraham Accords, which exact day, and how many people need to come into it before it becomes the real deal that talks about as we move to the next slide? Is Russia, Ukraine part of this? And when would that exact day be? World peace, what exact day? So Daniel 9:27 talks about that. And the end of it shall be a flood until the end, Kates, which is an interesting word, of the war, Malcolm, determined desolations, Shomem, and he will confirm a covenant with many. So confirm, you know what, I'll just read it, and then we'll read down below, just without my opinions. So for the week, one in the middle of the week, he will bring an end to the sacrifices of Ak and the Minka, and on the wing of desolations, or it's Kanaf. It's I could read that as my Zitzit shall make desolate even until the consummation is determined, poured out on the desolate. Okay, so this is a commentary, and I'm blanking on the name of the guy, but that'll be the next slide. Based on the provided text, it's most direct and contextually coherent antecedent, for he in this, in Daniel 9:27, is the prince of the people who will destroy the city. He's the bad guy. Okay, this interpretation maintains logical progression of events where this prince whose people commit destruction is then responsible for the actions described in the final week of the prophecy, including the deceptive confirmation of a covenant and subsequent desolation. So it seems like he's the Antichrist. So this is David Levy who wrote that line just a moment ago. The prophecy begins with 70 weeks are determined. Israel and the holy city, Jerusalem, totaling 490 years. Then there's the 7 weeks, 49 years again. And then he's counting from 445 BC. Seems close enough, accurate enough. 62 weeks, 434 years. To AD 70, basically, when Romans destroyed Jerusalem and the Second Temple. 1 week yet to come. There's a gap. Sorry. Deal with it. That's prophecy. Okay. And so, once again, David Levy with the comments, and he continues on here. As with many prophecies, a time gap exists. Once again, deal with it. Here, the gap shows between the 69th and the 70th weeks after the Messiah's death and resurrection. God stopped the countdown and inserted, he's saying it here, I'm sorry, the church age. I don't agree with that. But the age of grace, well, that's been there the whole way through the whole Bible, and which will end with the rapture and when he removes his church from the earth. Okay, he's wrong with that, but he's been right in many other ways. The prince to come, verse 26, will appear and confirm a strong binding covenant and increase that covenant for 1 week, the final 7 years. This is the 70th week of Daniel. So Daniel 9:24 states the purpose: to finish the transgression, the pasha, to make an end of sins, kata, to make reconciliation for iniquity, that's avon. So the two sins that don't have a sacrifice are pasha and avon. Kata has offerings. Okay, so but to make an end of that, to bring an everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, to anoint the most holy. Okay, so thanks, David Levy. He's a rapture guy. Sorry, I have to kind of grin and bear it. This guy's a rapture guy, too. He's KJV only. But it is interesting. So he's talking about the rise of the global leader, the strengthened covenant, the talk of the third temple, the push towards the one world system, and signs of heaven and earth. He is accurate on those things. Technically, to be a rapture guy, you're not supposed to have any signs, but the problem is there are signs. Yeah, deal with that again, too. So, okay, so when do I think these things will occur? It seems like if we're going to go into something in a year, it would be during Cheshvan, and that's November this year, and it would be probably November 14th at the latest point, but somehow tied to the false Yom Kippur or the false Sukkot found in 1 Kings 12. And so just watch those dates this year. I'm not predicting anything. I'm just saying just watch them and see if you see amazing peace deals coming in with the Abraham Accords, and I'm not predicting any days, that's for sure. Tom Horn explained it this way, that he thought 2025 would kick it off. And he listed 3 different time frames that might work in 2025. I'm stating regardless, we will have more pole flip acceleration. Yeah, we've had some big geomagnetic jerks lately in 2024 and 2025. So things are moving on that. And then, potentially then the 7 bowls would be poured out from 2029 to 2032. We'll see if Tom's right. We're in the birth pangs. We're not in the tribulation. We're not in the great tribulation. We're waiting for a wedding. You have to have clean garments. You can't be naked. A Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, a Sukkot, and it's a wedding. So get ready for it. Thank you very much for your time. Be blessed. God bless. Bye-bye.